Hi everyone, my name is Jake. This is going to be a very quick video on enzymes. Okay, I already have everything drawn out, and this is just covering kind of the biological significance of them in the body and how we'll use them here in organic chemistry. Okay, so here's my little uh, handout, I guess, on enzymes. Apologize for the poor handwriting. Okay, get my pointer here. An enzyme, first of all, what is it? An enzyme is a protein, and proteins are composed of individual amino acids all chained together with amide bonds. We'll get to that in a later lecture. What do enzymes do? Well, they help reactions take place. They kind of propagate a reaction. Okay, let's think about this for a second. Let's say we have inside of a cell A and B. When they react, they make AB. Okay, let's say A is on the left side of the cell and B, so we have our cell here. We have A over here and B over here. In order for a reaction between them to take place, they would need to get close to each other, right? And physically interact. But that would take time and just randomness for that to happen. And it does happen. It's just called a spontaneous reaction. Okay. But your body is highly specialized. We have within our cells and throughout our body proteins, or more specifically, enzymes, which are a specific type of protein. These enzymes have something called an active site. This active site is where the reaction takes place. So here I've kind of drawn with a little pink outline the active site. Okay. The active site is where the substrate goes. And the substrate is just a really fancy word for A and B, the reactants. Okay. And those substrates fit into this enzyme very nicely because this enzyme is specific. Okay. So what do? It's a binding of the substrates through non-covalent interaction. So it allows them to get close and the molecules to start touching. Remember, when molecules touch without making a covalent bond is when it's just a non-covalent interaction. And also, reactions need acid and bases. So the active site provides an enzyme acid and an enzyme base, which you'll see these become way more significant here shortly. Okay, but within the active site, there's an acid and a base. Okay. So A and B come together to make AB here in the active site using enzyme AH and enzyme B. Okay, another thing that's important is the energetics of it. Okay, generally speaking, our reactants are just going to go downhill and become products. Okay, and you might think it's easy because we start high, it ends low, we can just go downhill. But it takes a little bit of energy to get those to actually happen. So we have something called an energy barrier or an activation. So an energy barrier or an activation energy, either or. And that is the amount of energy required to get those two molecules together in the right orientation at the right time with the right amount of force to have them actually touch and interact. Remember, they have electron clouds around them, so they kind of repel each other to some extent. Okay. What enzymes do is it actually lowers that activation energy. It brings it to a lower point to make it go quicker. And that's why enzymes are very useful in the body, because it helps a reaction that is not necessarily spontaneous happen very quickly and at the right time and at the right speed in order to produce enough products that the body is wanting. Okay. The reason why we bring this topic up is because, generally speaking, we're going to use enzyme AH and enzyme B a lot. And when we use these are just going to appear in random spots in reactions. And you're going to be tempted to be like, well, where'd these come from? And the answer is, remember, this reaction is happening in the body. And the body has specialized enzymes that are meant to have this guy and this guy react with the help of our acid and our base enzymes. Okay, so we're going to move into a big metabolic pathway called glycolysis. And glycolysis has a lot of little tiny reactions. And all of these little tiny reactions, we use enzyme B and enzyme AH. And it's a specific enzyme that is coming in, putting that molecule in the active site and causing it to do that little reaction. Okay, I hope this video helped and gave you a little overview on just what enzymes do. Okay, so in progression, you probably should have watched my saponification video, and then after that would be the video on energetics, so reactivity states, ATP, and macronutrients. And then this video and the following video will be carbohydrates 1.